Hello, everyone. Thank you for registering and joining the JAVAT 365 product launch webinar by APEK Group. I understand that in the course of this webinar, you might be having certain questions that you would want to ask. Please feel free to use the questions section. It's at the bottom right to enter all your questions, and we'll be sure to answer all questions right after the webinar. All right. A quick introduction to APEK Group. So APEK Group, we're a consulting technology and managed services provider. And our experience spans over 20 years across different business sectors. And we offer services that help organizations maximize performance and also achieve their strategic objectives. Our expertise in technology understanding makes us an ideal partner for businesses, governments, non-governmental organizations, and specialized agencies. As a technology solution provider, our provision of technology solutions cut across infrastructure managed services, where we help organizations increase their overall productivity by enabling them effectively and efficiently deliver their services, as well as improve their overall performance. Also, we provide next generation technology platforms in which we use innovative solutions to help organizations implement next generation technologies and achieve higher productivity and service quality. Also, mobile solutions, where we help organizations take on mobility challenge by implementing strategies that adapt to their goals. And we understand that information system security is a big thing. So we offer expertise in this area. We are experts in cybersecurity, help organizations secure their infrastructure and data through security risk assessments and analysis, real-time threat monitoring, and security system implementation. All right, so some of our clients and collaborating partners for APEK Group cuts across Microsoft, PwC, Republic of Guinea, where we offer services to the government, also to City of Montreal, Republic of Congo, Congo Telecoms, Power Software, and UNDP. So some of our speakers today will be Yemi Bakre, who is the practice lead, and Amadou Baude, our chief technology officer. All right, at this point, I would be handing over to Yemi Bakre, who is our practice lead, to take off from here. And please, like I mentioned earlier, due to time constraints, let's reserve our questions till the end of the webinar. And you can also drop in your questions in the question section, which is at the bottom right of the webinar. Thank you very much. Yemi, over to you, please.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, BC, for that good introduction to our company, who we are. I want to assume that everyone can hear me okay. And let me apologize in advance. You might hear some dings as we are having more people join. All right. So let's dive in to learn how JAVAT 365 can help organizations drive down its collaboration cost while still being an effective solution. But first, let's look at some of today's challenges of collaboration and communication tools identified through surveys. Expensive license being one of it, due to organizations recognizing that most time only subsets of applications are being utilized in a packed license. And most importantly, majority users within these organizations are just information consumers. And then we have a dedicated support that it's also really not offered unless you pay the premium. And with some of these collaborations too having a lot of awesome features and modules, it starts to become less user intuitive for all user type, which in turn makes user onboarding ineffective and discouraging. And because a lot of this organization starts to look for solution on how to use this tool to attain their goals, because again, users are already disengaged. And lastly, the licenses are typically not inclusive, as you will be required to purchase a certain type of licenses for specific type of users due to license limitation. So with these challenges in mind, we at APEK Group, being a digital workplace provider, then got inspired to bridge the gap for the organizations that are seeking a cost-effective internal communication solution that addresses all these issues and some. So JAVAT 365, meaning just a very awesome team all year round, is here to be that cost-effective mobile internal communication solution that provides just the essential features such as the targeted content sharing, video conferencing, survey creation, group and private chats, social features, mail clients, and so much more. So what makes JAVAT 365 stand out among others? So we focus on just the essential features needed to have an effective engagement with your audience. And with a pricing of just $2 per user per month, JAVAT 365 is also the only hybrid solution that allows you to leverage your Microsoft licenses to start to drive costs down immediately. And we can show you how this works in a one-on-one demo should you wish to explore this option. Also, knowing that keeping things simple but impactful is always the way to go, our solutions is built to have less clicks and to be super intuitive for all user type. And lastly, security and compliance is a big deal for us at APEK Group. And this also translated to JAVAT 365 as we are IPA, ISO, GDPR, PCI DSS compliance, and so much more. So here are some of the different components of JAVAT 365, starting from the mobile phone to the admin center. As you see here, the mobile app is where your information users will receive targeted content shared with them in their specific private or public groups, whilst you're collaborating with other users within your organizations and group. The web app is where the groups and management of the tenants happen. So rich content such as articles, documents, and surveys are being curated and then published to one or many groups at the same time in one click. The mail client is also an optional module for organizations that would like to have their custom email domain attached. And then finally, the admin center is where the super admin manages the support tickets, subscriptions, and organization details, and so much more. We have other key benefits, as you see here, such as a 10 gigabyte of mail storage per user, the option to white label for companies interested in that, and so many other things. And this information can also be found on our website. So let's quickly dive into how some organizations are taking advantage of JAVAT 365 today. In this scenario, you have an organization with different segments of their businesses in this scenario, such as the various other locations, the frontline workers, the community involvement, and let's not forget about the internal corporate department. So the way some of our clients are currently using this is that JAVAT 365 is used to keep their employees updated. So in this case, for example, Lisa is the communication specialist. She creates weekly articles to share to other locations. So she then goes on the web and put together a lovely news article, as you can see depicted in the image here. Another scenario is engaging the communities, where John, as the public relations specialist, creates surveys to share with both internal and external collaborators to gather data on services and product. Also reassuring confidentiality, Matt collaborates with his legal team while he's on the go, knowing that information is not stored on local devices or shared outside of his private groups. And finally, promoting inclusiveness. Mary, as part of the security team, is also able to receive company updates and collaborate with her team while enforcing safety. So this is just some of the scenarios of how JAVAT 365 is being used and can be used within organizations, and also organizations looking to collaborate with other departments. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and switch to Amadou, our CTO, to talk about the architecture of JAVAT 365 itself.
Thank you very much, Yami. And welcome everybody to this webinar. So Java 365 is built with security first, knowing that it will be used by multiple tenants, with multiple organizations, with multiple with different security concerns. So Java 365 is built on an infrastructure that is based on 3 different tiers. So we have the development tier, which handles what updates goes into the different platforms, onto the different clients' infrastructure. We have the infrastructure tier that will handle all of the business logic, all of the different features of the applications, and we also have the internet-facing tier, which is your typical web app and mobile applications. So the development tier basically ensures, we have policies that ensures that the right code ends up on the right tenant, and the right updates and bug fixes are properly using web standards, properly managed and deployed to the client server. So developers would basically, when there's a particular feature request that is approved for production, the developers would push that into our version control, which handles all of the code storage. And from there, it will get approved by a senior developer after the code review is done. And it will be pushed to our CI/CD pipelines, which will then handle all of the automatic deployment to multiple tenants. So if you have hundreds of tenants, when we push code, it gets approved, it automatically gets deployed in real time to the different tenants. And the reason why is because our infrastructure is based on containerized services, using ECR, Amazon ECRs and Docker, for example, where each tenant has their own containers that is completely separate from other tenants. Therefore, for security, for clients that have a lot of security concerns, it's very important that they are separated from other tenants. Unlike other SaaS solutions where all the tenants are kind of lumped together into one server, we use containerized service to make sure that we separate all of the processes. So if something is happening on one tenant, it does not affect any other tenant or client in our system. So the last tier basically is the internet-facing tier, which is the mobile applications. So this is where you connect and use your services. And obviously, the important thing about client-facing tiers is that if you're a particular client that has a lot of traffic, we use Amazon technologies like load balancers to make sure that the service is always available for you. Even if one of your nodes go down, there's always going to be one that is going to get automatically spinned up, so that we guarantee a high availability of all of the application at all time, 365, 24/7. With that, I'll pass it back to Yemi to speak about return on investment.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amadou, for that quick technical dive. So since we've launched Java 365, a lot of people, or to say a lot of organizations that have approached us has noticed that this is definitely a cost-effective solution. And as you see here, we have this very golden apple, which we kind of consider our sweet spot, that shows how we stand tall among other enterprise solution. Now, one of the biggest thing for us is that we are not trying to reinvent the wheel. However, we want to be able to make sure that we are addressing the need in the market for organizations that requires a targeted content solution for the now virtual world, and also looking for an effective solution that drive costs down, that provides them with the specific features that they need, and also being able to have support, the ability to have unlimited usage, just like our CTO mentioned, very highly secured environment. So these are the things that Java 365 offers, as you can see, compared to the other solutions that are out there. Okay. So with that said, I believe we've gotten to our questions. Again, we wanted to make sure that this is a very short and sweet webinar. We will be providing one-on-one demo sessions as required, but we know that everyone's time is very important. So we're at the questions, and I do see that we have some questions here. Jesse, do you want to take that, or do you want me to go ahead and start going off on the questions instead?
All right, Yemi. So the question is already on ground. Okay, just a moment. All right, so the first question we have here. Are there any downtimes when upgrades are being carried out?
I think I can take that one.
All right, then, Amadou, you can go ahead, please.
Yeah, so we, again, were like previously mentioned on the infrastructure side, we guarantee a very high availability of the application. So there would be no downtime, even when we are doing deployments of code or updating code. What we do, just gonna get a little bit technical here. Sorry if there's some business people on the line. So basically, when a particular feature is pushed or uploaded to a particular tenant, what we do is there are multiple nodes of that tenant deployed. So we would first deploy onto one of the nodes. So if you're using the application, that node would go down. It would take the deployment. It will run the test, make sure everything works. And once that is completely successful, then we replace your active node with the one that got just deployed, and then we go and proceed the deployment on all other nodes. If you're a very large client, like a bank, or we would deploy, for example, if you are spread around the globe, for example, and you have offices everywhere, you could have up to 20 nodes running at the same time. And if we're doing deployments, the likelihood of all of those nodes going down are extremely, extremely small. So there would be no downtime.
All right, thank you very much, Amadou. So that's just to give us an assurance to all of those that has registered that we do not have any downtime. So it's not something to worry about. There are no downtimes in the use of Java 365. Okay, we have another question here. How secure and compliant is Java 365?
Amadou, I can take that.
All right.
All right. So Java 365 is hosted on AWS, and it is APEK compliant, ISO compliant, GDPR compliant, PCI DSS compliant, and so many more. Security is a big thing for us. And knowing that this is a SaaS product, we want to make sure that we are compliant in every way possible. Amadou, do you want to add anything else?
I think you summed it up pretty well.
All right, awesome. All right, Busy.
We have about 6 questions on ground, so I hope you guys are prepared. So number 3, the third question I have here is how many MS tenants can you attach at once?
I'll take that as well. I'm gonna do. Okay, so one of the things that we're doing with Java 365 is from an evolution standpoint, we want to be able to attach many other data sources. So since we're starting with Microsoft tenants, we are allowing one tenant at a time for now. Looking into the near future of allowing other data sources like possibly Google, SAP, and the likes. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Yemi. So there's this next question. Where do you see Java 365 in 5 years?
Wow. Okay. Definitely with Java 365, we are listening to our user. We have a feedback section on our website as well on the application, the solution itself, where we take these feedbacks that have been received and kind of focusing on the core purpose or the core reason of Java 365, which is being a very simple, remaining cost-effective, and being an intuitive solution. So in the next 5 years, we do see a lot changing for Java 365 in a positive light, but still keeping true to its core values.
Awesome. We're looking forward to 5 years, 10 years of Java 365.
And beyond.
Yeah, right, and beyond, right. Okay, so Yomi, you touched on values in terms of costing. So there's a question here. How flexible are your licenses? Do we do bulk purchase and all of the likes? Would you like to explain that further to us, please?
Absolutely. One of the pain points that I believe I mentioned in the beginning is license issues. So we want to remain flexible with our licenses by allowing organizations to only use what they need or define what they need rather than putting them in a bulk program to say. So everyone has the opportunity to, or every organization have the opportunity to define what their license is. So before your subscription, because our subscriptions are prepaid, so before the next subscription or the next billing cycle, you can define if you need less seats or if you need more seats. And you can always purchase more seats or more licenses as needed as you go. But what that looks like is for you and your organization.
All right, thank you very much. With respect to, is this question on group creation? So it says, are there limits on groups that can be created within a tenant?
I can take that as well. Or Amadou, do you want to take that? And I've been talking a lot.
You're doing so great. I want to listen more. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Yes, so no, absolutely. Like we said, this product is limited. You can create as many public or private groups as you wish, as needed for your organization. And I also want to also highlight that within this public and private groups, you can have as many members, both internal and external members as well. There is no limitation on what you can do with JAVAT 365.
All right, thank you very much, Yemi.
Sure.
Yep, so one more question. Okay, I still have 2 more questions, please. Still have 2 more questions. All right, are there rules for external tools or application extensions like Gmail?
Right now, the version of Java 365 that we have, the external applications that you can have is a Microsoft tenant, excuse me. And because the reason why we have it that way is to kind of help drive that cost down from organizations that are currently using Microsoft licenses. In the near future, we do look to add on other external tools or applications like Gmail to again make things simple. But for now, our data connector that we have is for Microsoft tenants, and this is because it's intentionally placed there to help you lower or reduce your current collaboration cost. And we can talk about those scenarios in a one-on-one demo, like I mentioned earlier, if that's something that interests you to see how you can start driving your costs down immediately.
All right, thank you very much, Yemi.
Sure.
Yep. Finally, let me see if we still have questions from our able audience. Okay, so the last question from the audience. Just a moment, please. So what is your product support or SLA? Or what SLA do you have in place with respect to Java 365?
So we do have an SLA agreement. As Amadou has mentioned, our service typically up, but there are scenarios where you would have some supports related items. And this can be found in the admin center. We do have a ticketing system, and we do have an SLA agreement attached to it where there are 3 levels, level 1, 2, and 3 for moderate to severe tickets that needs to be addressed right away. So yes, those things are in place to continue to provide support. And we do not, as I mentioned, charge for premium support. However, we do have SLA in place to help us ensure that we are providing support at a defined and utmost time.
All right, thank you very much, Yemi. So at this point, if we have any other questions, maybe in the course of subscribing, you can always forward your questions to emails, which will be communicated. We have sales@java365.com, where you can send in your concerns and questions or inquiries to. You can send in your inquiries to sales@java365.com. Thank you very much, Yemi.
Sure, thank you. So, thank you, BC. And like I said, again, we wanted to make sure that this webinar is very short and sweet, just to kind of save on time. This webinar is recorded, so we will be sending out a recording for those that joined a little bit later. And as you can see here, you can go ahead and get started for free. You can request a deep dive demo if you want a personal one-on-one with us to further understand the product. And one of the things I would like to highlight about our demo session is that they're very hands-on. So during the session, you actually get to download the app on your phone and just kind of walk through with us and ask any other questions that you might have to understand the product better and make an informed decision if this is something that could work for your organization. Thank you so much for all the questions. Wow. I think those were really good questions. I just want to say thank you again for your time. And Amadou, do you have anything else to add as we close here today?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Yemi, for your awesome work, and happy International Women's Day to everybody, to all the women out there. Get that for last.
International Women's Day. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. I think we've come to the end of the webinar. Please do reach out to us if you have any questions or if you would require a deep dive demo, or you can get started for free. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yemi.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye for now.